Transformative power of words. Hi everyone, Mazen here, and welcome to the Maximal Life. Today, I want to talk to you about owning the power of the words we choose. Our words shape our beliefs, and our beliefs shape our attitudes. So much of our success is determined by our attitudes towards ourselves and our circumstances. When we look deeply into the nature of reality, we see that perspective is reality, and that perspective is curated by our words. How we declare things to be are often how they will be. Now, we can all agree this topic is rich and endless, but today I want to focus our conversation and your perspective on one particular uber powerful phrasing that can create new realities and lasting change. Specifically, we're going to discuss the difference between saying I can't versus I don't. Stephen Covey, famed American educator, once said, "I'm not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." This quote reminds me of the power of choice. And through my own personal research and experimentation, I've discovered that making simple substitutions in the way we frame our words can cause drastic psychological shifts in the way we own and stand by our choices. The substitution of I can't with I don't is very effective and simple place to start. Let me give you an example. Is the issue that you can't eat chocolate cake, or is it that you don't prioritize chocolate cake over achieving your personal health goals? Imagine you are on a mission to change your eating habits and you're enjoying a meal with friends at a nice restaurant. This restaurant is known for their outstanding and indulgent dessert options, and you've made a commitment to yourself to avoid eating unnecessary fats and sugars. While scanning the menu, you're careful to select an entree that will be healthy and satisfying, even though your eyes are still lingering on a few less than healthy options. At a restaurant as nice as this, almost everything on the menu is sure to be delicious. Healthy meals are often made with the freshest and most flavorful of ingredients, and you know you'll be pleased with your choice. As the waiter comes to clear the plates, the moment you knew was coming has now arrived. The waiter says, "As you probably know, sir, we are famous for our desserts, and today we are featuring our molten chocolate lava cake with black cherry reduction to top it. It is incredible. Would you care to see our dessert menu?" Of course, everyone at your table has been waiting for this moment, and you know dessert is basically a given at this particular restaurant. In fact, you never dined here and not ordered dessert before. Everyone agrees to look over the dessert menu, except when the waiter gets to you, you politely decline. How do you feel about your decision to resist this all too familiar temptation? What if I told you your reality completely depends on what you are telling yourself? I can't have dessert, I can't eat molten chocolate lava cake, I can't order along with everyone else. What do these statements bring up for you? I know for me, hearing that I can't have or that I can't do anything stirs up a sense of defiance within myself. I feel denied from my fundamental right to choose molten chocolate lava cake with black cherry reduction. Restricted, limited, and made separate from those who can. Now, let's try this again and change the inner dialogue. The waiter asks, "What about you, sir? Can I tempt you as well?" And you politely decline, same as before, but internally you tell yourself, "I don't eat dessert, especially not after a healthy meal. I don't eat chocolate cake. I do not need to order with everyone else." Now the choice is yours. This isn't a matter of limitations. You are no longer forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. You're exercising your power to say no. The same as your friends are exercising their power to say yes. You are no longer separate from them. You're simply making a different choice. This seemingly subtle difference in language has a powerful effect on our thoughts, feelings, behavior, and ultimately our reality. Learning to say no to temptations, be it for reasons of health, productivity, or character, is one of the most useful skills you can develop. Let's do it right here, right now, because research is beginning to show that slight adjustments in language can make it much easier to say no. Switch I can't with I don't to progress without internal strife. In fact, research studies have proven that substituting I can't with I don't eliminates the desire to obstruct your own progress. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research split 120 students into two different groups. One group was told that anytime they were faced with temptation, they were to tell themselves, "I can't." When the second group was faced with temptation, they were told to say or tell themselves, "I don't." After taking these instructions and applying them in their regular lives, they returned to complete a questionnaire unrelated to the study. Once they finished answering these questions, the students went to turn in their answers and their answer sheets, thinking the study was over. Now, this is where things get really interesting. As such student heads out of the room, they are offered a complimentary snack. The students are given a choice, a chocolate candy bar or a granola health bar. As the students exit, the researchers made note of their snack choice on their answer sheet. The students who told themselves, "I can't," throughout the study, choose to eat the chocolate bar 61% of the time. The students who told themselves, "I don't," choose the chocolate bar only 36% of the time. The results illustrate how simple change in terminology between "I can't" and "I don't" significantly improved each person's chance to make a healthier choice. So how it is that something so small can make such a huge difference? Our brain is a bank, and the words we deposit can accrue interest. Our words play a massive role in framing our sense of autonomy and control because they create a feedback loop in your brain that impacts your future behaviors. The brain is a bank, and we can only withdraw what we deposit. Every time you tell yourself, "I can't," you are creating a feedback loop that affirms a sense of personal limitations and restrictions. When you tell yourself, "I don't," you are affirming yourself of your own personal power to choose. As George Eliot puts it, the strongest principle of growth lies in the human choice. Director of the Motivation Science Center at Columbia University, Heidi Grant Halverson, explains the difference between saying "I can't" compared to "I don't" like this. "I don't" is experienced as a choice, so it feels empowering. It's an affirmation of your determination and willpower. "I can't" isn't a choice. It's a restriction that it's being imposed upon you. Thinking "I can't" undermines your sense of power and personal agency. Don't and can't may seem somewhat interchangeable, but they are very different psychologically. "I don't" is psychologically empowering. "I can't" is psychologically depriving you from your fundamental right to choose. When you can't take another meeting, it indicates a lack of ability and the skill necessary to execute an additional task. However, when you don't take another meeting, it indicates a decision to not execute the task, even though you could if you desired. Instead, you choose to do something else with your valuable time. When you can't skip going to the gym, it indicates that you are being dragged there at the end of a short leash. When you don't skip going to the gym, it indicates a matter of a strong personal willpower. When you can't, you are telling yourself you are powerless, that you have no options and you are not in control. When you don't, you're calling the shots. You've weighted your options and you've made your choice. Sometimes, while implementing the substitution of "I can't" with "I don't," you may find that you don't agree with your own choices. And this is powerful information. When you can't make it to the gym after work, it indicates that you're incapable of meeting your health goals. When you don't make it to the gym after work, the spotlight is placed on your willpower, and you're given the opportunity to honestly reevaluate your priorities and potentially make better choices. When you don't call your wife to let her know you'll be home late, you're faced with a personal truth about the role you play in determining the quality of your life, and you're creating powerful opportunities to make adjustments and improvements that will better reflect a maximal you. I learned this one personally while taking this research and applying it to my own daily linguistic tendencies. I found that I was frequently telling myself, "I don't have enough time," and it was suggested to me to replace it with, "It's not a priority." And believe me, the first time I heard myself say, "It is not a priority to contact my wife," I felt like everything suddenly stopped and my schedule blew wide open. It was a flash of insight for which I will be forever grateful for. Leonardo da Vinci said, "One can have no greater or smaller mastery than the mastery of oneself." Changing the subtle ways we engage in self-talk Making simple substitutions such as exchanging I can't for I don't may seem a matter of small mastery, but small mastery is the game of mastery. In fact, we call this the incremental edge. By now, you see that these small changes in our word choices lead to huge impacts on our perception of reality. So start today by choosing words that feel good, words that put you in control. I love this quote by Mark Twain, a true word master, on this very subject. A powerful agent is the right word. Whenever we come across one of those intensely right words, the resulting effect is physical as well as spiritual and electrically prompt. As Maximal Achievers, we're willing participants in a continuous process of enhancing and developing our goal-directed behavior, and our goals span our physical as well as our spiritual well-being. No one is forcing us to strive towards our best possible selves, our maximal selves. Distractions and temptations kind of sway us from the goals we desire to achieve. We are, of course, only humans, and therefore susceptible to both distractions and temptation. But now we are aware that our language can transform the act of refusing temptation from one of enforced deprivation to one of powerful and goal-directed preservation. Remember, I don't is a choice. I can't is a lack of options. By fine-tuning our internal exchange of words, we're propelled forward and away from petty distractions, to which saying I can to over time feels tedious and demotivating. Instead, by fine-tuning our internal dialogue, we powerfully refuse. We don't participate and engage in all those obstructions that keep us from our maximal lives. So, to continually enhance and develop our maximal selves, here is your call to action, your incremental edge. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't have this or I can't do that, stop, regroup, and instead tell yourself, I don't do this. I don't want that. Because let's get real right here, right now. The truth is, the power of choice is always available to us, and we are always responsible for our own behavior, no matter what we tell ourselves. So choose the words that affirm your goals and bring you insight into your personal truths. Thank you all for joining me today in this eye-opening discovery. When we stop thinking, I can't, and start thinking, I don't, it's hard to lose sight of who is in charge, the maximal you, and impossible to forget what we are striving towards, the maximal life. Thank you, and see you again soon. If you like what you have seen and heard, please subscribe.